Hey there, interwebs. I hope you're doing well. And as you can see, I'm doing a little bit of filming here. You're getting some behind the scenes of the Jesse Gender. All what makes the magic happen. It's mostly just a crappy green screen and a mic. But I wanted to kind of talk with you kind of briefly while I had a moment, because I feel like my review earlier today of Falcon and the Winter Soldier Episode 5 Truth was missing a few things. This week has been a little bit rough for me emotionally due to a number of things. Some personal stuff, some stuff happening on Twitter that was taking my emotional energy. If you follow me there, you'll know what I'm talking about. As well as, some stuff that was happening politically in this country, if you saw my Wednesday video on the Texas anti-transgender bill. So all of that added up to a week this week that was kind of rough for me emotionally. And going into the Falcon and the Winter Soldier review, I was kind of tired last night when I was going into it. And as a result, I feel like I missed a couple things and got a couple things wrong. And because I like talking about them, I just wanted to kind of give myself space to sort of go over things that I might have missed in my initial review on the video. The thing that I really want to hone in on that I feel like I just missed in my initial review and thought was a really nuanced thought about the episode was Sam at the end of the episode really taking charge and sort of coming to terms with committing to taking on the mantle of Captain America and what that means. Because Isaiah earlier in the episode presented this idea that what self-respecting black man would want to take up the shield of Captain America, take on this symbol of the country that has so harmed the black community. And Isaiah sort of representing that on a very personal level. And in many ways, Isaiah is not wrong. America treats many marginalized groups, but the black community especially, really awfully, and has treated that community really awfully. And so why would a black man, what does it mean for a black man to take up the mantle, the symbolism of Captain America? And what I really loved about the end of the episode, sort of sitting with it and thinking about it, is Sam Falcon recognizing that to take up the mantle of Captain America means that you're both accepting and rejecting that what all of it means when you stand for Captain America. Captain America stands for a symbol for many, many people. But that symbol did not come from America and what America stood for. It came from Steve Rogers and what Steve Rogers stood for. And it was always intrinsically linked with America because that was sort of the symbolism that he became attached to when he took up the shield and became sort of a propaganda tool for America way back in World War II. But ultimately, everything that shield came to stand for was on Steve. And so when someone like Walker takes up the shield and attempts to live up to what Captain America means, he's ultimately going to fail because he, as they say, he is never going to be Steve Rogers. And who he is a person is built up from mistakes by the United States. As the episode says, he sort of clearly states in the episode, "You made me," to the United States Senate. And he also has this sense of entitlement, that he is owed this, that he is deserving of this. And ultimately, no one is deserving of that title. You sort of take on the mantle and try your best to be a good person. And you don't live up to the name of Captain America, you just try to embody it as best you can. And I think that that's ultimately what Sam realized by the end of the episode, that to take up the shield of Captain America was not something that he was doing for him, as he told Bucky. He was doing it to be of service, doing it to be something for other people. And yes, the symbol of America to the black community is a very fraught one. But also, he has the potential as someone becoming Captain America to stand up for what that symbol should be. To not necessarily be able to wash away the blood on that shield, because that shield is now going to be permanently tainted by Walker's actions and the both literal and metaphorical blood that is on it. But that symbol still means something to people. It means something to Sam's nephews who lovingly touch that shield. And so for him to take up that shield, even though there is that complicated history within it, means that he is going to be able to take it and move forward with it, to try and do something good with it, to be of service with it, to do something for others, even though he may have complicated feelings about what that shield has and always will to a degree stand for, that he can take it and make it mean something even beyond that, push it further, push it farther, even though it will always be unfortunately intrinsically linked to what it means to be an American. And that I think this is tying in with this idea that Carly is presenting throughout this series as the sort of this flag smasher character who wants to open up the borders, in that Falcon, the America is a is a single country. It is not a country that represents the world. And I think Falcon wants to take that symbol of what the idealism of America is, of what America and what Steve stood for and what the idea of America should be, and try to say this is what we all can be. But it also comes on the back of this complicated history that has so harmed and marginalized and given pain to many communities, especially the Black community. And so I really liked, in the end of the day, that this episode was wrestling with all of those things, because there is no clear answer here. There is no clear right or wrong in terms of taking up the shield or not and what it means.
And I also really love the fact, though the show did not say this overtly, but it was subtly discussing it, how a white man like Walker feels that he is entitled to something like the title of Captain America, whereas someone like Sam, a Black man in this country, feels that he has to earn it and has complicated feelings of it. Again, the show didn't necessarily put it in like white man thinks that he's entitled to something Black man does not, but it is certainly wrestling with those ideas that Walker was someone who felt entitled to that title, and Sam was someone who was wrestling with it. And I think a lot of that comes down to how the country has treated them down to their race. And I think that that is kind of a really, really subtle and interesting nuance that this show has brought up, especially in a political context. And it's really absolutely fascinating. And I wanted to make sure I called that out on this channel because it is deeply ingrained within the show and very subtly written.
And so I like that the episode ultimately kind of gave voice to all those numerous different things, to what it means for a Black man to take up the Captain America shield. And sort of sitting with it and thinking about it, I'm like, okay, that was something that, you know, me with all my emotional energy at the end of the day and reviewing the episode late at night missed. And I just felt like sitting with it, there was so much in that episode that I was just sort of thinking about that it would be remiss of me to not sort of like open up more of that discussion on this channel, because I feel like that's what I want to do with this channel, to have these discussions. And so I honestly open it up to all of you. What did you think about everything that I spoke about here, about the nuance of what it means for a Black man or any person to take up a symbol of a country that is got blood on its hands, both literally and metaphorically in many different ways. And so I'd honestly just love to hear all of your thoughts down below. And thank you for allowing me the space to sort of continue the discussion in many ways. And thank you for being wonderful and for being a wonderful community. And I really appreciate you all. And I hope that you, as always, live long and prosper. And now it's time for me to film another video on this terrible green screen.
Here we go. So I'm finally here, performing for you. If you know the words, you can join in too. Put your hands together if you want to clap, as I thank you all with this Patron Rap. Catherine Lambeth, Miranda Janelle, Ashley Allen, Bo Kikio, Eli Bergmash, Aslan Solstice, John Cool, Greg Gillum, Stephen Kleinard, Randy Thompson, Felicia Toast, Wellington Marcus, Boyd Earl and Mary Beth Earl, Stephen Schuhart, Wayne Twitchell, Corey Honkanen, Anvale Dunn, A Man Chooses, A Slave Obeys, Ish the Mad, Dominic Noble, Buttoneer, John Steele, What Does God Need with a Starship? Michael Beam, Meadow Whisperer, William Steele, Chamomile Tea, BBD, Munir Amlani, Jason Knott, John Weatherby, Maeve Liama, Bree Beecher, Andrew K., Nathan Steele, Sky Skinner, Sean Piper, Flynn, Wen Dizzle Bizzle, Tiffany Danger, Cass the Last, Laura Dermero, Geek Filter, Mari Neckar, Troy Stull, Gretchen Badger, Pissed and Twisted Garage, Bush, Jane Packard, James Krivda, Din, W. Randy E.D., Ellie O'Dare, John H. McDougall, Celestial John, Jacob Tovar, Sarah Bystam, Jessica Chapman, Lysa, Nikki Gordon Bloomfield, Polly Mina, Andrew Lamoureux, Jennifer Fuss, Zone 1 Librarian, Jenny Mabel, and Michael Hardy. Thank you so much. I hope you appreciate me being a dorky weirdo that's totally off key with any sort of beat, but thank you so much, patrons. I love you all.